Hi everyone, my name is Joalden L. Kuyakot. I am a ninth reporter of Group 3. My topic is all about the categorical imperatives and utilitarianism. Provides an introduction to the philosophical concept of the categorical imperative as devised Immanuel Kant. Categorical imperative an unconditional and absolute moral law that does not depend on any ulterior motive. It is a moral duty to carry out the action under any circumstances. So, what is categorical imperative? It's like a universal rule book for morals. It tells you what's right and wrong no matter what. So, key principles. The text highlights two of Kant's formulation. The key idea is imagine if everyone did what you're about to do. Would it be okay? If not, then it's probably wrong. Then the two key principles. First is act only according to that maxim by which you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. Universal rule only do things that would be okay if everyone did them. Number 2, so act as to treat humanity whether in your own person or in another always an end and never as only a means. So number 2 is respect people. Always treat people with respect like they matter. Don't just use them to get what you want. Then core idea is the categorical imperative is presented as an objective, rationally necessary, and unconditional principle that must be followed. All immoral actions are considered presented as an objective, rationally necessary, and unconditional principle that must be followed. All immoral actions are considered irrational because they violate this principle. So, why it matters the core idea? It because it helps you make decisions that are fair and good for everyone, not just you. Basically, it's about doing what's right because it's right, not because it gets you something good or avoids something bad. It's about being fair and respecting others. So my second topic is all about the categorical imperative by Kant. Definition: fundamental principle of morality is a categorical imperative, which is an unconditional command that applies to all rational beings. It is an imperative because it is a command, and it is categorical because it applies without reference to any specific goals or desires a person might have. Fundamental principle of morality that is an unconditional command for all rational beings. It applies without reference to specific goals. There are three formulations. Formula of the law of nature. Act only a maxim or a subjective principle of violation that could be universalized without contradiction. If a rule cannot be universalized, it is considered immoral. So, formula of the law of nature: act only on a principle that could be universalized without contradiction. Number 2, formula of end itself. Never treat others or oneself merely as a means to an end, but always as end in themselves. This emphasizes valuing everyone as a rational being. Number 3. Formula of a kingdom of ends. Act as truth. You are a legislating member in a universal kingdom of ends. A world where everyone acts from categorical imperatives. This means you should act on the assumption that everyone will follow the moral rules you see through your actions. In simple words, formula of a kingdom of ends. Act as truth. You are a legislating member in a universal kingdom of ends, where everyone follows the moral rules you see. Utilitarianism. Utilitarianism, first systematically developed by Jeremy Bentham, is based on the insight that morally appropriate behavior should not harm others. The text states that this behavior should instead increase something. Through the rest of the sentence is cut off. In short, the categorical imperative focuses on universal moral duties and treating everyone with respect, while utilitarianism aims to minimize harm and maximize well-being. Here are examples of the categorical imperative and utilitarianism. So, isa siya ka scenario is you're considering cheating on a test. If everyone cheated on tests, the value of education would decrease and grades would be meaningless. Then, cheating disrespects your fellow students who studied honestly and the teacher who put in the effort to teach. So, masabda naman lang kung ano ang scenario na to. So, proceed na ta sa kuan. Example sa utilitarianism. Scenario niya is a government is deciding whether to build a new hospital or a new stadium. So, hospital would benefit many people by providing healthcare, saving lives and improving overall well-being. Then, number 2 is stadium would provide entertainment for some but may not have as broad and significant and impact on the community's well-being. So, according to utilitarianism, building the hospital is the better choice because it maximizes the overall happiness and well-being of the community. And my last topic is the provided text discusses the historical development of utilitarianism, focusing on its early precursors and key concepts. First is utilitarianism's core idea. The text defines utilitarianism as an approach to moral evaluation and direction that aims to increase happiness or utility. So, utilitarianism core idea, it's a way to decide what's right and wrong by choosing actions that increase happiness. So, sabotable raman kayo, no? Ang explanation, dali raman masabtan. Then, number 2 is early thinkers. It identifies early theological utilitarians such as Richard Cumberland and John Gay, who believed that promoting human happiness was a duty approved by God. Then, early thinkers, guys, ang explanation is, some early thinkers like Richard Cumberland and John Gay thought that making people happy was something God wanted us to do. Number 3 is moral sense theory. The text introduces Anthony Ashley Cooper, the third Earl of Shaftesbury, as an early moral sense theorists who believe humans an innate sense of right and wrong. Moral sense theory is Anthony Ashley Cooper believe people naturally know what's right and wrong. O, sabotable na sad. De proceed na ta sa ni Francis Hutcheson. Francis Hutcheson, it's note that adapted the moral sense approach but also emphasized a utilitarian principle for action choice. Francis Hutcheson, he used the idea of a natural sense of right and wrong, but also thought we should pick action that do the most good. Then, the last is classical utilitarians. The passage concludes by mentioning the classical utilitarians Bentham and Mill and their motivation for using a normative ethical theory to drive legal and social reform. Classical utilitarians, later on, thinkers like Bentham and Mill, these ideas to try change law and society for the better. And I thank you.